Another day, another mile. You've been gone a good long while. Another hill, another climb. You can't afford to lose no time. So much road still left to go. Where it ends, nobody knows. And the wind blows in your face. You love the thrill, you love the chase.
Here we are at Red CentreNATS 4. Unbelievable to think that this is the 4th year, and this year we're up to 700 cars.
Red CentreNATS is just unique. It's a beautiful place, it's a beautiful community. This town wants this event, they love it. You drive in here, the arms are open, people are smiling, that's why we come.
This is the first time Red CentreNATS. I love this event, it's pretty crazy.
Being born in the Territory, it's great to come back and see all my mates. We all come and have a great time on Father's Day weekend, and it's fantastic.
The thing that makes this event so special is when the boys and girls get their unregistered cars, MVR gives them a permit to drive on the road, and away they go. And so you see things on the road here that you'll never see on the road anywhere else in Oz.
To get the licence to be able to cruise the streets for 3 or 4 days, everyone needs to get out here and try this. This is probably the best car event in Australia for that reason only.
Red CentreNATS 4, it's burnout time. We're kicking off the program here at Alice Springs Inland Dragway with Daniel Andre in Twisted. This is qualifying for Burnout Masters. The big final will run on Sunday afternoon. We're taking the 10 best drivers from this session tonight, as well as the 3 top scorers from the Burnout Championships. Tyres are off and the engine's still running. Awesome way to open his account here in qualifying at Red CentreNATS 4. The crowd loved what they saw. And Daniel Andre hauls his way to the roof of Twisted to celebrate with the fans. Great score to start off qualifying for Masters 79. Erin Strauss up next in Troublemaker. One of our naturally aspirated cars here at Red CentreNATS 4. job, Erin Strauss. Big revs on board for Troublemaker. Rare to see a naturally aspirated car in Burnout Masters competition, but the tyres are off. The Alice Springs crowd love it. See what the judges thought. Erin Strauss and Troublemaker, 77. Great job. We ride on board now with Phil Kurgene, our CentreNATS 31 Burnout Championship winner and long-time Burnout Masters qualifier in Tough Street. Dramas early for Phil. See if he can kick it off again. Sounded like it ran out of fuel. Smoke, huge revs, 2 destroyed tyres and a great score, no doubt coming Phil Kurgene's way. 79's pretty strong. If it wasn't for that little misstep at the start, that could have been quite a bit higher. But it's time to party with Kane Westbury now. Let's see what the big Commodore sedan is capable of. Doing the job for Tasmanian burnout fans everywhere. Car has well and truly overheated. It still looked like a party for Kane Westbury. Not happy with the score. But it's a tough field here at Red CentreNATS 4, making the trip down from Darwin for this event. Frank Basil driving the car that won the first ever Red CentreNATS Burnout Championships. Passengers happy. Pretty sure Frank's going to be happy with that effort. Strong score, 78 for someone that's relatively new to the sport of burnouts. That's a really good start putting on the show for the Alice Springs crowd. As we jump on board with Sam Lord now in bad habit, making the trip all the way over from Western Australia. one of the loudest cars cruising the streets of Alice Springs this weekend. Well, what could have been for Sam Lord from Western Australia. The crowd still enjoyed what they saw. It wasn't for the walls of the Alice Springs Inland Dragway burnout pit. What could that score have been? 44, not enough probably for Sam Lord to go through to Sunday's final, but he's still having a great time here in Alice Springs. Burnout Masters qualifying continues after the break. There's still plenty more action to see.
CentreNATS is unleashing the most outrageous rides on Earth, letting the lunatic Burnout Masters loose, cruising the spanking new Tough Street, smashing a Guinness World Record, frothing on Dune Rats 360, Butterfingers plus DJ Brooke Evers. OMG, it's one hell of a show. Australia's biggest horsepower party. Tickets at summonats.com.au. Yeah, you.
I got nothing to say you haven't said 10 times before. I won't waste my breath trying to turn things around no more. I've been trying so hard, but to tell you the truth, in a woman your age, you just ain't cute. When every night I end up picking you up off the floor.
Welcome back. This is Red CentreNATS 4. Burnout Masters qualifying continues from Alice Springs Inland Dragway. We're watching Anthony Gleeson now ripping the pad up in his HQU. Another one of our Burnout Masters qualifiers that's had to pull reverse to get out of a tricky situation, Anthony Gleeson. Manages a 46. Some of the competitors finding it a little bit tight. Tim Barbie now in Mojo, one of the smallest cars in the field. Let's see if he can get away with it. Fans of Rev Limiter make some noise. Mojo absolutely putting on a show for the fans on the hill at Alice Springs Inland Dragway. Used all of the pad. It's a good score too, 80. That should be enough to get him through to Sunday's final. Let's see what happens as we jump on board with Craig Hawke in Mongrel, one of our staunchest South Australian entrants. Came year one and has loved it ever since. LS power on board the little Suzuki. just the slightest touch of a wall for Craig Hawke. Has that done enough to keep him out of the 10? Score of 68, it'll be tight. He'll be waiting with bated breath for the rest of our competitors. It's Cohen Walters making the trip down for Darwin again to be part of Red CentreNATS 4 and his blown Commodore. Burnout hasn't gone all Cohen's way. That's not stopping him. He's trying to get these tyres off. He'll stop at nothing except the wall. Oh, it looks like the tyres are off. Pretty sure we can see Cohen smiling inside the Commodore there. Des Mitchell now in Yehoon, another one of our Darwin competitors in his HZ Tunner. Competed at this level at Red CentreNATS for the last couple of years. Always puts on a really good show here at Red CentreNATS. Nothing wrong with the job from Des Mitchell in Yehoon. The judges liked it too, a score of 76. One of the better performances we've seen tonight as we jump on board with the Ranger, Stephen Cliff, all the way from WA, the wildest Nissan Patrol you will ever see on a burnout pad. From our favourite Nissan four-wheel drive. Stephen Cliff in Ranger. No penalties, a happy passenger at 75 points. As we jump on board now with Kristen Butler out of Darwin, previous winner of the Burnout Championships competition at Red CentreNATS, in his old car that was driven earlier tonight by Frank Basil. Great job, Kristen Butler. One of the first competitive outings for that car. Serious expression on Kristen Butler's face, but a good score of 73. The idles off the pad, steaming. Job well done. Stay with us, there's plenty more Red CentreNATS 4 action right after the break. We'll check out some of the great cars that are on display here in Alice Springs.
Open the pearly gates and descend into Revin Heaven. The Street Machine CentreNATS is unleashing the most outrageous rides on Earth. OMG, it's one hell of a show. Tickets at centrenats.com.au. Yeah, you.
It's just in my blood. I was brought up just holding. Yeah, no, you never see me in a Ford. Craig Morrow from Shepparton, Victoria. We just like going fast and having something that looks good as well. It's a genuine VH 83 SLE Commodore. We bought it off eBay about 4 years ago. Paid $2,300 in Sydney. We drove there and picked it up, brought it home. Needed a resto, so we started from there and yeah, got a little bit out of hand. It was all about going fast originally, but as we got along, we sort of made it a bit prettier, and before we knew it, it was sort of half show car, half daily driver. So it's a LS, it's a 427 cube. It's got a RHS block, aluminium block. It's got all Kelly's internals. It's got masked black label heads. It's still got a hydraulic roller in it. It's got a Whipple 4-litre supercharger, and it's running on E85. And at the moment with 11.8 boost, it's running 1,050 horsepower at the flywheel. Yeah, we've skidded it, yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of rubber under the back. Yeah, it doesn't like traction, yeah.
Doing it for the panel van fans here at Red CentreNATS 4. Burnout Masters qualifying from Alice Springs Inland Dragway. Graham Rowe in Gamble. From Graham Rowe. Worth the price of admission alone. Gamble. Tyres off, rods in. Best score we've seen tonight, 84 points. Jordan Allen will be looking to emulate what he's just seen on the Alice Springs Inland Dragway. Burnout Pad, another seasoned Red CentreNATS competitor. Out the window, imploring support from the home crowd. An Alice Springs local, the tyre is gone and it's taken out the onboard. We get to lie here and get in a roach's eye view of Alice Springs Inland Dragway. And of the headers on Jordan Allen's car. Awesome shot from our crew here. We're going to huge lengths to get the awesome shots that we want. Jordan Allen. The score of 51 doesn't really tell the whole story of how much fun the driver and passenger are having in front of their home crowd here at Alice Springs. We check out Dylan Kibblewhite making the trip up from South Australia, an unlikely Burnout Masters competitor. We'll see what he's capable of here tonight. Well, there's no doubt that it's the first Toyota Cressida in Burnout Masters competition history, but I don't think anybody saw that coming, doing it for South Australia and doing quite a good job. Dylan Kibblewhite, how did the judges see it? 75. One of the better scores. We're taking the top 10 qualifiers from tonight's competition through to the final. Jay Chung Tai will have his eyes on one of those spots in the tiny towing beast. Tow truck that could. The Queensland local made the trip over, has been cruising the streets of Alice Springs and tearing tyres apart in the country's smallest tow truck. Dean Teasdale now, the VL Commodore with a reverse tip in, mixing it up here at Alice Springs. Commodore driver that's done the petrol heads and motorsport fans of the Illawarra proud. The score is 63, not a bad effort at all. We see the only Gemini in the field, Harley Davis, another Wollongong competitor, throws it in, big tip in. Let's see if they can carry it on. Just enough space to pull it up before hitting the wall. Great job, Harley. 75 points in the Gemini. It's a terrific way to round out day one at Red CentreNATS 4. Plenty more action to come.
Drifting is coming to CentreNATS. Some of Australia's top drifters will be heading to Canberra in their mental sideways machines. Catch the insane drift demos on our custom-built course at CentreNATS 32 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Tickets from centrenats.com.au.
Are we ready to announce the grand champion?
It was unexpected. We didn't really come prepared, but we drove the car hard and that's what it was built for and came away with a victory. It's this 1972 genuine GDS Coupe Monaro. It's got a supercharged 406 Chev with a turbo 400 and a 9-inch diff. Wheelwood brakes on the front, Simmons wheels and an original paint that came out on the car with correct colour interior to match. At the engine, we've got about 700 horsepower at the engine. We can't use all of it, but we have plenty of fun trying. Oh, I love the event and being brought up and born in the territory. It's more of a family environment. This scene, the kids help build the car, polish the car, clean the car, and we all come and have a great time on Father's Day weekend. And yeah, definitely good to be back and have all our car on all the merchandise and pictures all around town. It's fantastic.
I'm Mark Harris, I'm from Yeppoon. I've got a 1940 Chev pickup. It's a car that I built really quickly. I'd already had the cab from a previous build, but it had been in a head-on accident, so it was pretty dinted up, and I had the chassis rails tacked together. We moved to a motel in Hay. I drove back to Yeppoon, rolled my swag out in a shop, and got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week, did nothing else but this. And 11 weeks later, I had this car done. 11 weeks. My son wanted me to build a Hot Wheels car, so we scaled one up, and what you see is what you get. It's a 530 cube big block Chevy, 871 Teflon strip rotors, E85. It's gone just over 1,000 horsepower at the fly. Car weighs just over 1,000 kilos, so it's basically 1 horsepower per kilo car. It's the only car I've ever driven that does make me a little bit scared. I think if I sneezed, I could kill myself in it. But more is law, according to my engine builder, so that's where we are. I grew up in a car family. My dad raced speedway and dragsters, and yeah, I have no trade. I'm a hairdresser by trade. I just eat, breathe, sleep cars, and I've built a couple of street machines before. The hot rod that I crashed was the first hot rod I'd ever built. Had a head-on. The guy in a dual cab Triton decided he liked the look of it and couldn't take his eyes off it and ran over the top of me. And what I was able to salvage is bits and pieces, and then basically rebuilt the car bigger and better. And it sort of got a bit past where it was meant to go. Grass driving events in a car that's 1,100 horsepower should be a lot of fun, but we'll see how it goes. Bit gun shy from the car accident still, so I don't know how quick I'll take it down the strip, but I certainly won't. I won't baby it down the strip, but it'll probably be capable of going a lot quicker than it does.
Stay with us at Red CentreNATS 4 as we catch up with our Grand Champion hopefuls.
CentreNATS 32, which is going to be on us before we know it. It's got heaps of new innovations. We've created this new precinct down at Tough Street that we'll call Skid Street for want of a better description. That's basically where you can get off the chain a bit, make some smoke, do some skids and all that sort of thing without getting yourself turfed out of the event. It's what the boys and girls want to do with their cars, so we've made a place for them to do that, which is awesome. We're also going to take back our world record burnout crown. We've set that in twice now, in 26 and 28, with 103 cars and 28. It was broken last year in Saudi Arabia, of all places, 119 cars, which is a fantastic effort. So we've got to do at least 120 to get that prize back, and we'll be doing that on the Friday at CentreNATS. Great band lineup with June Rats, Butterfingers, 360 on Saturday night, massive firework to follow, and heaps of other stuff that we'll be releasing over the next couple of months, so make sure you get into it.
The winner of Grand Champion for CentreNATS 2018 is Grant Connor in Bad Apple Falcon.
He's got the sword. Ladies and gentlemen, your Grand Champion for CentreNATS 31.
I never expected to win Grand Champion. Very humble about it all, but it was a life-changing moment for me.
There is the best custom car, the best street machine in Australia, and it's here today in front of this packed crowd at CentreNATS 31. Congratulations to our Grand Champion.
Mate, I can't describe how I'm feeling at the moment. I've never ever wild expectations that I thought I'd get this far, and to see my family, mate, they've supported me the whole way. Thank you.
Your Grand Champion, CentreNATS 31. Put your hands together. I don't think we've seen anyone this happy out here in the burnout pad.
I never actually set out to build a show car as such. I built it as a street car. It sort of evolved into more of a show car as the build went on. We went through, the paint aspects and the bodywork, and then once we realised that we had something special, it turned into a show car. But I've tried to build it as a street car, so when I'm finished with all the shows, I can actually drive it. Being a car person, I suppose, your mind is always ticking over of what things you can do, what will work, what won't work. It's all the little things that, for me, makes a car. You don't have to go big and bold and crazy, but I like the, more elegant, classier sort of look. I want to try to achieve something different, but still works, which it's easier said than done.
One thing we do at this event, because it's a little bit smaller and a little bit laid back, it's still intense, but we like to bring new judges or new stewards through this. Got a fantastic girl, Rachel Durbridge. She's a really good painter.
Here at Red CentreNATS, my role is judging paint and body, and looking for so many different tricks of the trade that we look out for that deciphers whether a car is gonna win. The cars here this weekend are all stunning. A couple of really good standout cars would have to be the VH SLE, that thing is stunning. And then you go all the way to the candy cars, so you've got Bad Apple, that's stunning. And we've even got a red Dodge here this year, that's full dyed candy, amazing.
My name's Ross Mays, I'm from Bendigo. I'm driving 32 Ford Tudor called Burnt One. It's a pretty crazy car, so a bit of fun. I started off with nothing, so it was a chassis, body, start working from there. It's probably been my dream car. Wanted to build this since a kid. I drew it as a kid without the flames, but flames come later, and now everyone knows me for the flames. The engine is a 468 big block Chev, 871 supercharger on top, a couple of Demon carbies on there, turbo 400 with trans brake, full manual, 9-inch diff, probably around about the 600 to 700 horsepower on 98 gas, so yeah, it gets up and goes. I drive this car, I absolutely love it. We drive it on the street as it looks now, all the time around Bendigo. Probably not every day, it's not a shopping car, but it's something I get out and enjoy and don't mind cruising around in.
Well, stay with us. Coming up, it's a big fan favourite, the Red CentreNATS 4 Street Parade.
Open the pearly gates Relax and descend into Revin Heaven. The Street Machine CentreNATS is unleashing the most outrageous rides on Earth. OMG, it's one hell of a show. Tickets at centrenats.com.au. Yeah, you.
With the street parade here, it's the biggest street parade in the country, no doubt about it. And we'll have hundreds of really, really cool cars forming up here at Blatherskite Park, and they'll cruise into the city and it'll get out into town and run to 30,000 people of Alice Springs, which will be great. The thing about Red CentreNATS is it is just unique. You can't do what you can do here anywhere else in Australia or any other show, and you drive in here, the arms are open, people are smiling, and I think the street parade really sums that up. Like to take, you know, hundreds of cars into the centre of town and have thousands of locals and visitors and tourists standing on the side of the street waving and smiling and actually really applauding the people who put the cars together and the beautiful cars themselves in this beautiful place. That's why we come.
The Northern Territory government getting behind it and letting the cars drive on the streets, and it's a real big bonus for a lot of people to do that.
That is, my God, the best feeling. To be able to drive down the street, go through Macca's and be the loudest bloke out there.
That is just the most unbelievable cruise here in Australia, probably almost anywhere in the world. Been to a lot of events in the US this year. I've never seen a street parade that big. The cars went out for about an hour. They do a 3 or 4 kilometre loop and come back here, and just to see that with all the crowds and the kids just so happy, never seen anything like it. So that is such a feature. 4 years on with Red CentreNATS, it's just amazing. I think the appeal is even better now. The townspeople have embraced it, every single person. I think they come out at lunchtime, they set up on their cars and their trucks and just all ready for the cruise. It's really good. I don't really think there's another event like it in Australia.
Following the street parade, we come back into Blatherskite Park for Rock and Rumble. We've got Red CentreNATS favourites, Dr. Elephant, sort of kicking off proceedings, and then followed by the Veronicas, bit of an Aussie international superstars out here in Alice Springs. And we reckon that's going to be a great show, not just for the entrance, but to really pull in some of the locals who might not actually otherwise come out and see the cars. So that's pretty cool.
So just a bit of an overview of what's going on today. As soon as we finish this briefing, go to your cars and we're all going to head out to Acid. We're going to do 2 passes. We're straight from there over to back to Lasses for Motorcana, then straight back here to the grass event. Good luck. A little bit like CentreNATS at the Red CentreNATS here, the grand champion is definitely not all about show. You get points for judging, you get points for people's choice, And then we're running off 3 events, and we're running them back to back. We're doing drag racing at 9 a.m, we're doing Motorcar at 10 a.m, and then 11 a.m. we're doing the grass driving event. Why we do the People's Choice and the driving and all that is so it's popular for the people, it judges well, and of course it drives well, which is what a true street machine should really do.
It's drive it as hard as I can and have as much fun as possible. And I'm sure they're all going to drive them as hard as I do, and if they don't, then they're not going to win.
It's going to be very interesting for the Grand Champion this year because we've got Humble, which sort of snuck up a little bit last year. It done okay in the judging, but he drove the wheels off that car. That's what really, I guess that's what's been happening over the last few years at SummerNATS and here at Red Centre. The driving has made the difference. Then we've got a couple of other cars that I reckon are bits of sleepers. We've got some good drivers and a couple of really well-engineered cars. We've got a brand new car out of Darwin, twin-turbo, LS FJU. Interesting to see how that car goes as well.
I've done a lot of racing in my time, but I was a little worried there, but at the first pass we did, the thing was so smooth and clean. The next time we stood on it a bit harder, and obviously, yeah, it's hard to get traction, but it's just perfect. It did not miss a beat. It stops, starts, turns, awesome. Yeah, it's really well.
This year, the competition is amazing. We've got 11 elite cars from Sydney, and nearly all of those are going for the events. Then all the local guys and guys down from Darwin and interstate everywhere are all going for it. I reckon we'll have probably 15 cars looking at that Grand Champion trophy.
It's first run it's done since I built the car actually, so it's 11 years old and I haven't dragged it yet, and oh yeah, I had to hold on. It was good.
My name's Troy David. I'm from Darwin, Northern Territory. I'm into motorsports all my life, race sprint cars, still do. We'll go for Grand Champion. Whatever trophies you got, I want the lot, yeah. I built this car for my second daughter. She's 6 years old. The first car I built was a HG Monaro for my first daughter. Now I just had another little bub, little Erin, so I've got to build one more now. My motivation was just to build them some nice cars, and I'm just very passionate about things and I like things nice. In Darwin, it's very hard to build a car, build a nice car there, because you're ordering stuff in, it comes wrong, and then you've got to send back south and fabricating. Everything's just a little slower to take, but should have taken 12 months, taken 3 years. It's a 1954 FJ Holden Ute. It's got a LSX block with all pro heads, twin T51 Garrett turbos. They run twin AccuFab throttle bodies. On E85, it makes high 700s. And then on methanol, which we got it on this weekend, is 900 at the wheels. It's just on a light tune, so we can probably push it to somewhere around the 1300 at the wheels. And basically, yeah, it goes well, mate, yeah. I chose this colour years ago, probably about, I think 3 years ago. We made it ourselves, we've called it 50 Shades of Grey. And yeah, I think it's nearly come up perfect, yeah. It's never been on the road at all. It's been on a dyno, done 20 pulls. So tonight will be the first time ever driven on the road. So hopefully, touch wood, everything goes good, yeah.
Some folks look in the Bible, some folks look to the past. Other folks try to find themselves in the bottom of a whiskey glass. Open the pearly gates and descend into Revan heaven. The Street Machine CentreNATS is unleashing the most outrageous rides on earth, letting the lunatic burnout masters loose, cruising the spanking new Tough Street, smashing a Guinness World Record, frothing on Dune Rats 360, Butterfingers plus DJ Brooke Evers. OMG, it's one hell of a show. Australia's biggest horsepower party. Tickets at summonats.com.au. Yeah, you.
Let's check out one of the competitive sections for the Grand Champion hopefuls, the Motorcana.
I found it really tight actually. Probably the last corner coming into the straight. When I did the test run, I thought, how am I going to get around this? Because I could barely turn around it. So I thought, well, bugger it, let's flick it around. So off I did. We did it.
Unfortunately, you just clipped the curb. Yeah, you put a camera right near my front right-hand wheel, and I thought you were daring me to rip it off. So I tried, but I failed. Yeah, it's damaged the rim and the lower control arm and steering arm, so we hooked it up to the Land Cruiser in the car park, pulled it forward and made it out for the grass event.
I was a bit worried about curves and gutters, so I thought if I just stick to this, because everyone else was sort of going hard, then soft, and so I thought if I just stuck to it like that, I think it'll probably end up at a good average time.
Good, it was hard to see, it was pretty dusty, but it seemed like we went all right. We built this car to have good fun with it, and who knows, it's still up to the points.
I was a bit worried, there's a couple of knocks there and there, and I'm thinking, oh, that's probably the paint on that, and that's that, but it actually went really well. I got good filters on it, so I'm hoping the turbos are still all right, but other than that, I think it's good, yeah. It's what I built the car to do. Like, I've been building it for a few years. I was meant to debut it last year, but I had dramas with a few issues on the build. So the idea was to bring it here to win this, and I'll be honest about it, I'm not cocky about anything, but I come here to win it and go to the CentreNATS next year and see how we can go there, and after that, just do drag challenge. So really, if I won this, I'd be pretty stoked because it got what I wanted.
God, if I could win this thing, it'd be a dream come true. Yeah, lots of words. It'd be amazing. I wouldn't expect it. So, yeah, well, look, fingers crossed. But as I said, I'm not in it to take those things. But if you can get one along the way, well, I'll definitely take it. Grass is good. I'd like to do a little bit more and do a few donuts, but that hurts scores, and I'm not in it for that. But it was fun, so I thought, oh well, let's test out the new American Legends on the end line and do a massive rooster tail on the way out. We did it.
All right, so it was Brett, Michael, Radek, Troy, and Ross. Those are the 5 guys, all right? So come for a walk, and thank you very much, guys. This year is unbelievably tight. I've been doing this for a long time, CentreNATS in here. I can tell you, the People's Choice hasn't been tallied yet, but there's only 1 point in it. There's about 4 cars within 5 points.
It's almost time to crown the Burnout Masters champion. Finals coming up after the break.
Drifting is coming to SummerNATS. Some of Australia's top drifters will be heading to Canberra in their mental sideways machines. Catch the insane drift demos on our custom-built course at SummerNATS 32 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Tickets from summernats.com.au.
Day, grand final day at Red CentreNATS. So we've got the Burnout Masters final. Top 3 from the Burnout Masters at Red CentreNATS go straight into the SummerNATS Burnout Masters final. So there's a lot on offer aside from the prize money.
13 of the best ready to attack the Red CentreNATS 4 Burnout pad at Alice Springs Inland Dragway. First up, Keelan Height qualified as one of the highest 3 scorers in our Burnout Championships qualifying. Let's see if he's got what it takes to challenge the Burnout Masters. Not a bad effort in the heat of the day, taking on a quality Burnout Masters finals field. Showing some love back to the fans on the hill. Keelan Height scores 58. One of our South Australian competitors now, Sean Basford. Amazing burnout in qualifying on Friday. Butterflies are wide open, the engine's singing. Big tip in. Sean Basford stoked with another quality performance. Skid raging. Wild little Toyota Celica, a score of 75. Backs up his qualifying performance. Great job, Sean Basford. Harley Davis from Wollongong, New South Wales, the little Gemini. Big limiter in first. Shift gear, more limiter. Loves it. Huge tip in again. They've stepped up for finals here at Alice Springs Inland Dragway. Tyres are off, but that doesn't stop the guys celebrating after the fact. Great job. Harley Davis in the Holden Gemini. Doing it for LS lovers everywhere. Big speed on the tip in. Sideways more often than not. Pretty good score, 63.
We're on, dog. F***ing country.
Well, it's the job of a co-driver to help, and if G'ing up the driver to put on a more spectacular performance is part of it, then Des Mitchell's co-driver is doing a terrific job. Smiles on the face, mohawk on the helmet. Yahoon isn't here to party. Penalties aside, the co-driver is still smiling. Des Mitchell's got the tyres off. Another solid Red CentreNATS performance for the HZ. Big tip in, the judges like to see that. Score of 59 probably doesn't tell the whole story, but they've had a ball here at Red CentreNATS 4. See, Daniel Andre did a really good job in Twisted. You can see just how long this car is. Doesn't have the advantage that the little Corollas have. See if Twisted has the goods. Another great job from the big wagon. Gets up on the roof the easy way this time, the Alice Springs Inland Dragway. Crowd love it, showing their appreciation on the hill. Daniel Andre, score of 74. Puts him in good stead here at Red CentreNATS for Burnout Masters. This is the finals. Burnout Masters continues right after the break. Stay with us.
Open the pearly gates and descend into Revin Heaven. The Street Machine CentreNATS is unleashing the most outrageous rides on Earth. OMG, it's one hell of a show. Tickets at centrenats.com.au. Yeah, you.
Tim Barbie put on a show that the residents of Alice Springs will not soon forget in Burnout Masters qualifying on Friday night. Loves the rev limiter, does Mojo. Let's see what he's got. It's finals at Red CentreNATS 4. Another awesome job, Tim Barbie. Little Austin A50 sedan. No, that's not the original engine. Yes, he loves the rev limiter. Awesome job, huge tip in. Judges would have liked it, 79. Great score. Tim Barbie has every right to be pumped with that. We'll jump on board with Frank Basil. Relatively new to the sport of burnouts, and it doesn't show. Qualified for his first Burnout Masters field here and has his eye locked on one of those Burnout Masters golden tickets to appear at the big show, CentreNATS 32, January 3 to 6, 2019. even better skid than his qualifying effort, Frank Basil. One arm out the window, keeps it low key with the celebration. Idles off the pad, terrific burnout. The tyres are gone, the car still sounds super strong. And it's our best score so far, 80 points. Frank Basil out of Darwin in the Northern Territory. That car has history with this event, but Graham Rowe is here to try and spoil the party. He's stuck. Graham Rowe is stuck. He's not going to be able to get out of this. Oh, has to pull reverse. That'll cost him 10 points. That was a mega skid until that point. The penalty is 10 points, but then he's going to lose a score as well from the judges for driver skill, for smoke. What could have been. The smoke scores were absolutely off the scale for Graham Rowe. Hands in the air, he knows it's slipped away. Massive skid for Graham Rowe, still scores a 69 despite the penalties. What could have been. Sam Davey now, big limiter, another one of our naturally aspirated competitors. Burnout Masters competition isn't just for the blown cars. They've just got to work a little bit harder to make the same amount of smoke, and he's doing a pretty good job to start with. Well, they're pumped with that. The burnout score will be better than the throw of the merch into the crowd, but it was a great effort. Red CentreNATS 4 crowd happy to be here. And it's always a good day for Sam Davey when the officials are cleaning up big chunks of tyre off the pad. 68 points and a big celebration. It's time for Erin Strauss to hit the burnout pad. One of the surprises of the qualifiers. Did an absolutely killer job. Has the yellow tyres on today. We're looking to get rid of both of those in about a minute's time. That's a big effort for Erin Strauss. Did what he came here to do. There is 0% left of that tyre. Show some love to the Red CentreNATS 4 fans on the hill. That is the sign of a job well done. Judges liked it too. A score of 73 puts him in a good position at the moment. All of the competitors are looking to score a Burnout Masters golden ticket to compete here, the big show, CentreNATS 32, January 3 to 6, 2019. Burnout Masters finals continue after the break. Been a tough afternoon of competition at Red CentreNATS 4 in the Burnout Masters final. Top scorer so far, Frank Basil in the little Corolla out of Darwin, but there are some big time heavy hitters still to come. The coolest, smallest tow truck in Alice Springs this weekend, Jay Suzuki, did a terrific job in qualifying. Big smoke scores. Well, it's a crowd favourite. We'll see very shortly if it's a favourite with the judges at Red CentreNATS 4. The crowd have given the limiter finger of approval. What did the judges think? 77. No penalties recorded for Jay in the tiny towing burnout machine. Great score. We talked about heavy hitters before. Here's one now. Phil Kurgene, our reigning CentreNATS Burnout Championships winner. Previous Burnout Master. Big horsepower on board the VK wagon known as Tough Street. Come out of the throttle a little bit, not sure he can see. We can't see the back of his supercharger from here. He's got the wall. Oh no, heartbreak for Tough Street into the Armco. Has to reverse. Will cop both penalties. Damage doesn't look too severe, but touching is touching, and that'll cost him 10 points for that, 10 points for reversing, and has without doubt done away with his chances at the Burnout Masters win here at Red CentreNATS 4. Phil got there in the end. Put on an awesome show for the fans on the hill here at Red CentreNATS 4. Alice Springs Inland Dragway copped a couple of penalties. Still scored a 57, so it wasn't a bad effort. Only minor damage to Tough Street. It won't be long before he's back out on the pad. We move on to it. Well, he's a dark horse, really. Dylan Kibblewhite in the Toyota Cressida. Big time tip in. Did a terrific job in qualifying. The first Toyota Cressida anyone has ever seen in Burnout Masters. And this is a really good start to the skid. It's another killer job for Dylan Kibblewhite in the Toyota Cressida. Ticked every single box, hit every corner of the pad, got both tyres off, and a big score, 78 points. But that means Frank Basil out of Darwin in the Northern Territory is our Red CentreNATS 4 Burnout Masters champion for 2018.
This would undoubtedly be the best year for Grand Champion, and the reasons for that is because it's taken a little while to build, it's taken a little while to get the better cars out here, and to see the competition this year was absolutely amazing. After an unbelievable day, we started out at 8 o'clock. I took the cars out to the drag strip, so they had 2 runs down the drags. Then we took them over to the Motorcana, where they got on the bitumen course, and something that was very competitive. Those guys really got the red mist come out on a couple of guys there. And then we came back and done the grass event. And of the top 3, one brand new car nobody has ever seen before is an FJ out of Darwin. I've known Troy for a little while. He's been building this car. He's been talking to me about bringing it here and unveiling it at the Red CentreNATS. It's an amazing car. He done really well in the drag racing and also done fairly well in the judging. And then we had Leighton. He done reasonably well in the driving. He clipped the gutter and he done a couple of other things there, but he's still done quite well, and he actually done really well in People's Choice. So that got him up there. And then the next closest car was a hot rod. That was Ross Mays, and he done well in the judging, and he done well overall in all the driving events. So I'm not going to tell you who's won, but you just hang around and you'll find out.
To the Red CentreNATS champion. This is the big one. have a go at this for a trophy. Have a look at this for a prize as well. License plate, trophy, and $5,000 is the prize for the Red CentreNATS champion, going to entrant number 317, Troy David.
Yeah, we won. So, I mean, like I said, I wanted to start to build this thing 3 years ago, and I said I just wanted to win the Red Centres, being a territory event, and yeah, it worked. Perfect. There's a lot of rev heads in Darwin, a lot of car enthusiasts, so I think what they like to do is they've actually built some nice cars, but with Andy and the CentreNATS team bringing it to the territory, it just gives us a bit more opportunity to actually build something. I just can't wait to go to the CentreNATS and actually just show it to everyone else.
Red CentreNATS number 4 has been an absolute amazing event. This event is just so good because the whole town embraces it, the entrants embrace it, and to see those guys, when they go out, drive those cars out on the street, which half will never get the chance to, the show cars and even the burnout cars, then to see the reaction from the public and just the guys driving it and their mates, is just, there is nothing like it. And I travel around the world a lot, see a lot of shows, and there's really the atmosphere here, don't see anywhere else in the world.
Rattle in the windows and rattle in the cage. Write a new chapter on every page. Spinning in the darkness and howling at the moon. Do it while you can, 'cause the morning's coming soon.